How are y'all doing today, guys? My name is Fred, and today, guys, I'm actually doing the very first episode of Teaching You to Trickshot, episode number 1. And this is a series that I have done a while ago. I know a lot of you guys probably haven't seen that, and I get this question asked so much, so I decided to give you guys a video on it, sorry. And today's video, guys, is going to be how to hold a controller for trickshotting. Now, I know last video I actually made, or 2 videos ago, I told you I trickshot with this controller. And in fact, I do, but as you guys can see, it's going to be hard for you guys to see the trigger buttons because they're black. So I decided to show you guys how to trickshot with my red controller with the red triggers here. It'll just give you guys a little bit better of understanding, and it's going to be a little bit easier for you guys to learn. So first of all, I want to show you, I do have control freaks on here. I do have a CQC on the left and a normal one on the right. So I can actually get you guys 10% off that. If you want that, that'll be in the description. I'll make sure I put that in there. But in terms of needing them for trickshot, you do not need them for trickshotting. I do not want to go on to a review here on control freaks. I've already made one of those, but I might make another one here pretty soon. But anyways, I'm not going to go on with that. I do use control freaks. You do not need them. I use them. But anyways, I'm going to get on with it. So a lot of people ask me, how infrared do you hold the controller, spin at the same time while pressing these buttons? And no, guys, I do not just have 3 thumbs, although that would really help if I had an extra thumb coming out here. But unfortunately, I do not. So this is how I actually trick shot. So I play Claw. Now, a lot of you guys might know how to play Claw. A lot of you guys might be doing it a little bit wrong. And I see a lot of tutorials on YouTube teaching how to play Claw, and they don't do it quite right. So I'm going to show you guys how I do it, what I think works the best, and I hope you guys can learn from this. I know you're going to be able to, especially if you did not know about this. So there's 2 ways to do it. The first way is stretch, and that's where you take your left thumb and you bring it over to the analog stick on the right-hand side over here, and then you can press with these buttons. Now, I don't do this one. I don't recommend it, and not many people do this anymore. Some people do, but I would recommend Claw the way that I do it. So first of all, if you're going to play, obviously you guys shoot with your pointer finger. This is the normal way to do it, and you play. But when you want a trick shot and you have to press these buttons, here's how I do it, guys. So I bring my middle finger, actually, onto the trigger button, and I bring my pointer finger and I put it on these buttons, so then I can still spin and still press these buttons. Now, this is where people get this wrong. A lot of people still think that they should hold their controller normally and try to stretch that finger down, and as you can see, I can't even move that finger past there. That's as far as I can move it. Just the way your hand's made, it's not going to move further, and that's where people have trouble. They say, infrared, I can't do it. My finger doesn't move that way. Now, I'm almost 100% sure everyone's finger can play Claw if you're holding your controller correctly. Now, I'm going to warn you guys, this will hurt after a while, so I recommend not doing it for long periods of time. You know, take a break. Sometimes I'll just mess around and try stretch and my finger gets sore, because, you know, it is going to hurt your finger after a while. I'm pretty sure everyone has that problem. Maybe after a while, if you got used to it, it wouldn't, but for me, it still does. So here's what you got to do. You don't want to hold your controller like you normally would, and this is where people do this wrong, and this is where all tutorials don't really talk about this. You can't hold your controller like you are with your left-hand side. Your hands have got to be a little different. So as you guys can see here, my left hand's holding normally. That's going to be exactly how you would normally hold it. And your right hand, guys, this is how you would normally hold it, right like this. And this is going to be a little bit hard to explain here, but hopefully I can do this fairly easy. Your hand, actually, your whole hand's got to shift. It can't just be your fingers moving back. Your whole hand's actually going to have to turn on your thumbstick. So maybe not quite this much, but the bottom of your controller here is actually going to be pushed into your hand like this instead of like this. So it's going to be twisting that hand. It's going to be having the end of your controller right here is going to be pushed right into the dead center of your palm. So it's going to be just like that. And this is going to allow you to be able to bend that finger all the way down here, because if you have it the other way, you can't move it past there. If you twist that hand, and then that allows you to be able to bend your finger all the way down here, it's going to make it not hurt near as much. And sometimes I'll actually shoot with this finger. If I have to, sometimes I will shoot with that finger. So you can either do that or this. This makes it a little bit easier. As you can see, if I try to shoot with this finger, I can use my pointer finger and put it all the way down here. And but if I shoot with my at least middle finger, I still can shift my hands a little bit and press all these buttons simply while moving the analog stick there. So it's all personal preference. Whatever you guys like to do, you have to learn around with it a little bit and see what you guys enjoy the most. But that's the key thing right there. Is there's 2 ways to do it. You can either have it, if you're going to shoot with this finger, you can have it shifted into your middle of your palm, or if you want to shoot with this finger, finger, then you're going to have it sort of up higher. So up right in between here is where your controller is going to rest. And again, this will allow you to shoot with this finger this time and have these fingers pressing the buttons while moving. So that's the main thing people do wrong, is they think they're going to hold their controller normally, and that's not going to work. You're not going to be able to move your finger past there, and you're going to be wondering why. So make sure you either do one of two things. You twist your hand, or you put it up in here. Now, when I do it, I recommend doing it up in here. This is just the way I've learned. This is the way I've always done it. And I think it gives you a little bit better of ability to spin that controller. And as you can see, there is where my controller sits, just right in this little crevice right there. So I do believe that's all for teaching you guys how to do this. That's pretty much it. That's how I hold the controller. That's how I'd recommend it. That was a very in-depth, detailed tutorial there. So I know if you guys didn't know how to play Clow, or even if you did and you're struggling, this is really going to help you out. So again, you guys listen to it. You can play the video over a few times if you need to learn that. But it's one of two ways. Just don't hold it like you normally would. That's the main problem. And also, guys, don't shoot the back of the trigger way back here. Make sure you shoot it from the front up here. You know, it's going to be a little bit harder to press, but it's going to make that your finger doesn't have to slide way back and this finger spread out near as far. So if you shoot from up here, your fingers aren't spreading out as far. Where if you do that, then you're going to have to spread those fingers, which is going to be a little bit more challenging. So that is all for claw hold, guys. So when I play, you know, I would hold it something like this, get that going, and you know, do some sort of trick shots like that is sort of what it looks like. Now, I was going to put an in-game video in here, but I decided I did that once already, and it didn't really look like, it was just kind of pointless. It was just sort of me just doing random trick shots. So I decided to show you guys that tutorial, get this video over with. And anyways, guys, I do hope you enjoyed this tutorial here on how to hold your controller. I know if you guys aren't beginner trick shotters, this isn't going to help you, but I get this question asked a lot, and I also get the question asked a lot, guys, infrared, how do you hit shots? How do you time them? And that's going to be the next episode, because that is the next most asked question. So that's going to be a little bit harder to explain. You know, it comes down to a lot of practice, but I will talk about it a little bit. There's a few things you guys can do that will help you hit more trick shots. So anyways, guys, I do hope you enjoyed this tutorial here on how to hold your controller for trick shotting. That is it for it, guys. Please do leave a like and a comment. This is a very detailed tutorial. Not many people have tutorials like this. You know, there are a lot of different, and they don't really teach you the exact things you have to do. So I know I struggled when I started playing Clow because I watched a bad tutorial. So I want to give you guys a good tutorial here. So there it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this. That is it for it, guys, and I'm signing out. Later.